y'all. Hello if you're new. I'm Leonna. I have a service dog named Aries. He is playing slash napping on the ground. I do want to apologize in advance for the really bad lighting there is today. I'm by my window and the sun is like right there. So it's coming in pretty strong. I did what I could to try and adjust it and make it look decent, but that's what like the lines are is my blinds. And I did try to open the window and see if that helped, but it didn't. It made things worse. So yeah, today I figured I'd go ahead and talk about how I balance like my health, school, because I'm in college, and like my relationship and all that kind of stuff, because I know a couple of people have asked, and I figured I'd go ahead and film this and hope it helps somebody out or multiple people. So I guess I'll start like with that. Okay. So a big thing that I always say that like I think is a big tip for like taking care of like your relationship and your health, like making sure both are okay, is finding a partner that kind of like understands. Like with Michael, he's really understanding about like my health and how it affects me, and that I have days where I really can't do everything, like where I just need to like stop and like take the day to rest or something, and he's okay with that. Like that's a huge thing. If your partner's not understanding about that, then that's going to take a toll on your relationship. And I know like that's something. And then balancing like relationship with like school and work and all that kind of stuff. For us, like I'm not working currently. I couldn't keep up with like, so I had a job for a little bit, like on campus job, and it was taking a toll on my health and my grades, and it was just best for me to take a step back and acknowledge what I can do and what I can't and stop trying to push myself. So I just kind of like, I left and said I'd figure things out. But Michael does work on campus, and I know for us, like a big thing is just understanding like where school sits. Like for me, it's a pretty high priority. I want to make sure that I get good grades. I want to like put school first, and I mean not like first, like my health and like at the top of my priority list, but school is like a big thing because I want to succeed and I want to be able to go and like say, hey, I finished college with like, a 3.5 GPA or like a 3.0 or whatever, but like a high GPA, and I like did good. Um, Not that like grades are like everything, but for me, it's a big goal of mine, especially with like my background. I'm like, I really want to be able to say that I did it. Um, so studying and homework and all that kind of stuff are pretty high, and I try to take like at least, I try to spend like a day each week that's literally just dedicated outside of like what I have when I have classes, just like one of my free days where I spend the entire day practically dedicated to school, or then I take bits and pieces like time out of each other day also, when I can. But that's like a big thing, and Michael seems to understand that. So it's kind of like that's not something that's like big on anything, but I know that like that's something that like people do, like relationships, like your significant other does need to understand. And then with him, like he works an 8 to 5 and then has classes like during the day and everything. And um so it's kind of like, just understanding like there's work, like, and there's school, and you need to make sure that like those are important, and not like, well, your entire world needs to revolve around me. Well, no, that's not the case. Um, so like, yeah, like grasping all that, I guess, is huge. And if like you think your partner's not, then definitely like sit down and talk to them. As for like taking care of my health and school and all that kind of stuff, is something that like I had to acknowledge last semester, is that when you start like when your health starts declining, you need to take a step back. Like you need to put your health first. Most teachers are going to be really understanding about it, especially dealing with like a disabled student. Not all will be though, so you can't like just assume that everybody will be, because they won't be, but like definitely like email your professors and talk to them and see like how they feel and like let them know what's happening, um, and just like what's going on with you. uh, Oftentimes professors have dealt with like sickness and everything, can kind of grasp it. uh, so yeah, that's something. And just don't let school like run your life, kind of thing. Like, it can't. Like, you can always catch up, you can always like make up work, and if you absolutely need to, you can drop a class and redo it. Like, I had to do that last semester because there was a class that was like, it was too much at once. I had stacked too much on my plate and tried to do it all, and I couldn't. And so I just acknowledged the fact that like dropping the class was going to be best for me, and in the end, um, I mean, I didn't hope that I had a bad professor, but um, so yeah, like, just making sure you put your health first and acknowledging like school isn't everything. If you need to, you can take a semester or a year or 2 years off. You can come back, you can go on like a medical leave, all that kind of stuff, and it's not the end of the world. Like, it's not going to kill you. I know like some people think it is, and some people have to like really struggle with like acknowledging it. And I know personally that's something that like I've struggled with. I struggled with all through high school, and I struggle with now even, is acknowledging like it's okay to like just take a break. Um, but that's something that like we really have to accept and just take to heart. So yeah. Um, and then like, as I said, like, acknowledge that you can always take time and kind of like separate things. Like, you can take a step back from one class. Like, for me, like, I can easily take a step back from history and English because those are my two best subjects. And I know I'll be able to catch up really easily, but you can like take a step back and just put them on like a back burner and focus on like other classes that you really need to work on, and your health, like balance it out, kind of thing. And then like a big thing is like, don't stress over it. Like, I know that's easier said than done, but like, just not stressing over like everything you have to get done and when you have to get it done, because most of the time you're sitting there like, oh my gosh, I have to get this thing done by Wednesday, and like I don't have the time, and like all that stress and procrastination is just leading to worse consequences. And like, if you just sit down and put like 5 minutes to the project, then like it would be okay. Um, and you'd probably finish it by the due date. So yeah, I think that's all I can think of off the top of my head. As I said, like, just try, a big thing. Oh, another big thing for me is definitely like planning stuff out. Like, I have a wall calendar, and then I have my planner, and I like to break things down in there. Um, so that's huge. Like, just making sure that like everything's like organized and broken down and all that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, if anybody has like any questions, if I missed anything, go ahead and leave them down below, because I know I'm kind of scatterbrained today, and I'm pretty sure there's more I was going to talk about, but I can't think of it. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and bye. I'll see you guys next time.